Disclosure: the Zodiac Project is an original story from Moral Skull Productions.
This story features dark undertones, which some listeners might find disturbing.
All of our content is for those 18 or older.
All original characters and names are the sole property of Moral Skull Productions. Please enjoy.
Morgan Morales.
Once upon a time, there was a castle. It existed on a hill. At the bottom of the hill existed a tiny village. These people feared the monsters up in the castle. They claimed that the king above was a maniac and tormented the people. One day, a creature escaped to the village. She looked like any other girl, so a mere peasant fell in love with her. She told him of her heritage and her crown. Then the man turned on her. The village took the woman, tied her to a pole, and burned her alive. Before she died, she spoke of a prophecy. Though you burn me now, in the end, you shall all burn. I will return, and your ancestors may know my wrath. Beware the girl who is named of a flower. Once the woman burned, so did my village. In an instant, they all vanished with the witch. Many years later, a princess journeyed to the castle, where she fell in love with her prince. The two conceived a child together, but at her birth the mother died. No one knows where the baby went, or the prince, but they say she was very powerful, and that she lives in the dungeon of the castle, waiting for her revenge.
Did you hear it this time?
Good evening. It's been quite the journey for our main characters, right? Well, it's about to get real. Tonight begins the great triumph of Olivia-Rose and Kayden Schuyler. I'm afraid this is my farewell for now. After tonight, we won't be meeting. Not because this is goodbye, but because it's the end of this story. The end of part 1. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The story is far from over. Shh. We're breaking out of here. Miss Taylor walked down a hallway towards a main office. She looked over her shoulder as she entered a locker room of sorts. She rushed inside towards a wall with multiple keys. Before she could grab a pair...
Hey!
Oh! A familiar guard stopped her. Hey! How's it going?
Pretty great. Enjoying my cup of coffee after the gym, you know. I worked out.
So you've mentioned... Every time I see you.
What was that?
Every time I see you, I notice how big your muscles are getting.
Oh, really? Thanks. Yeah, I've been doing this new thing. It's called crossfitting.
The man rambled as Taylor nodded and agreed. Through a window behind him popped up Olivia-Rose and Kayden, waving at Taylor to hurry.
Yeah, so then I finished off with this CPU.
Hey, yeah, that's great. However, I do have to go.
You can't leave with those keys, though.
What keys?
I just watched you.
In a panic, Miss Taylor planted a kiss on the man. I'll say for myself, it was rather disgusting. Kayden and Olivia-Rose wrenched in the window.
That was,
Gotta go!
Oh, alright.
Miss Taylor ran out the door into the hallway, the security guard dumbfounded. Olivia and Kayden ran up behind her.
That was gross.
How are we doing on time?
We have 30 minutes before Kyle starts the riot.
Good. We just need to make sure everyone is on ground level. Once it starts, they will throw the place into a lockdown. No one will be able to get in or out of buildings, except the boys' side. It's broken.
Everyone's in the courtyard.
Good. The three emerged from the doors of the administration building. The fog was yellow that night. The patients talked and waited for the signal. Anthony approached the three.
Are we ready to get this bread?
If that means get the hell out of here, then yes.
Alright then.
Athena and Jacob ran up to Olivia-Rose.
Have you seen Adam?
Can't find him. I searched everywhere.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get my stuff made.
Meanwhile, deep in the depths of the facility, Adam sat strapped to a chair. Agitha and Dr. Schatz were torturing him. Agitha pulled the rag out of his mouth.
I'll ask again. What are they planning?
I don't know, mistress.
Wrong answer.
Please, no.
Where is she?
Perhaps too much time with Olivia-Rose has tainted him.
We'll see about that. Full blast, Donald.
I'm very sorry, sir. We did all we could do.
And the baby.
Back above, the patient's ready.
Miss Taylor?
Showtime! Kayden placed his hands around his mouth to amplify.
Victory screech!
Kyle and Terry approached each other.
Riot!
In seconds, the group went wild. Punches were being thrown.
All right, let's get going.
Suddenly, the alarms began to blare.
Come on at me, fatty.
Yo, that really hurt my feelings.
Terry was knocked out cold.
Attention! Return to your buildings or we will open fire.
What the hell is going on up there?
They started a riot.
No shit. Why? Who's down there?
Everyone. And Miss Taylor?
I'm on my way.
What the hell do we do now? What do you think?
Their plan was working perfectly. The fog blocked the view of the watchtowers as they used their lights.
Everyone, push to the fences!
They rushed toward the fence and began to climb. A few got shot, and a few became spike shields. Finally, the weight of the hundreds of patients broke the fence down.
All right, guys. Next stop, the
Athena!
buses.
Where's Athena, Kayden?
I thought you had her.
She was with Jacob. Where's he?
I'm right here.
Damn it!
Suddenly, the lights quit circling the courtyard, and they pointed towards the sky. At this time, Agitha came out of the building. The dust settled as a helicopter began to land. It was the one from before. It was her. Children continued to run into the woods as it landed. The woman hopped out with her mask-wearing bodyguard.
Is this a bad time? Well, don't stop now. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Go! Be free!
Lorraine watched as the lot of them slowly ran away. She walked over to Agitha.
I'm sorry. You fool! I can't trust you idiots with anything. We are working on retrieving them now. No need. Let them run. You have my weapon for me? Of course. Right this way.
The woman and Agitha entered the building.
Are they letting us go?
We need Athena.
Where could she have... Suddenly, they heard banging on a window. Olivia looked up at the 4th floor of the female ward to see her beating on a window.
How did she...
Kayden then noticed an ominous shadow lurking in the windows towards Athena.
Athena!
The buildings are locked!
But not the guy's side, remember?
The tunnels! What are we waiting for?
We interrupt this prison break for an emergency broadcast.
Good evening. Tonight we have a story from mere nightmares. Joining us tonight is Avery Summers.
Tragedy has struck in Ableton, Nebraska. A school was held up by a young woman identified as Mina Woods. Mina rigged the school with explosives and killed over 200 students, teachers, and faculty members. We want to share a word from our Madam President.
My fellow Americans, in the last few months, we have lost an ocean liner and the loved ones of so many families, including our former president. I come to you tonight with a message not only of sorrow, but also of hope. Soon, I will meet with my team to discuss how to stop the threat within our country. I send my prayers to the families who have lost someone, and I send my promise for justice. Good night, America.
What a world. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Deep underground, Agitha prepared Lorraine for her big presentation. A red curtain surrounded the test subject.
It's time I present to you your bioweapon. Finally. Dr. Scheu?
The doctor ripped the curtain off the subject to reveal a mechanical boy. It was Ethan Meeker. Lorraine paused for a moment.
What am I looking at? What am I looking at?
A prototype for...
Lorraine pulled a metal strap off of his mouth.
Young man, what's your name?
I'm Ethan Meeker. I'm a resident here.
That's enough.
Lorraine stood in silence for a moment.
This is what you've been doing with my money? Experimenting on children?
We had to make sure...
Agitha, what is Project Alice?
Create the eve of a new world.
Then tell me, what am I supposed to do with a cybernetic twink?
I don't know, he's just supposed to be...
Nothing! I can do nothing! You know what? You, Ethan, get out of here.
Lorraine unstrapped Ethan from the table he was on.
Go. Goodbye.
Ethan looked at the other faculty, then proceeded out of the room.
The rest of you, upstairs now.
Meanwhile, Olivia-Rose, Kayden, and Jacob proceeded up the emergency stairwell with Miss Taylor. They stopped at a door for her to unlock it. All right, I need to get to the bus. Can you guys handle it from here?
Stay?
If that's what you want.
All right. Good luck. Taylor gave them all a quick hug, then turned around and proceeded down the stairs. While somewhere on the 4th floor hid Athena in a supply cabinet. She sat frightened as Dr. Schatz stalked her.
Come out, little girl. It's time to take your medicine.
Athena could do nothing but curl up as small as she could, desperately trying to keep her breathing quiet.
There you are.
Before the man could attack her, a heavy metal supply shelf toppled over on top of him.
You little...
Olivia-Rose quickly climbed over the pile of junk and pulled Athena out of the cabinet.
Athena!
What were you doing up here?
Come on, let's go.
The four ran back to the staircase as Dr. Schatz painfully pulled himself out of the wreckage.
No, we have to go back! I forgot my rabbit, please!
Forget the stupid fucking rabbit. We'll get you 10 of them.
Fuck you! It's the only thing I have left of my dad!
Kids, I have officially lost my patience.
We'll try and come back for it when it's safe, okay?
But...
I promise, Athena. You know I don't break promises.
Athena nodded with tears rolling down her cheeks. The twins rushed deeper into the tunnels as Jacob and Athena followed, Dr. Schatz hot on their tail. They looped, and soon they found they were lost in the labyrinth.
Which way did we come from?
From the left.
All right.
They traversed down the yellow hallway until they encountered a new blue hallway. It was like a hospital.
Where are we?
I'm not sure.
The two began to explore, and they soon came across several dead bodies.
Holy shit. It's a morgue.
Olivia pulled a plastic sheet off of one of the bodies. Underneath was a man who looked as if something ate its way out of his veins.
Wait a minute. That's Gage.
What happened to him?
Something burned out of his veins.
The super shot.
It's all real.
Ethan was right.
I was?
They turned around to see the mechanical Ethan Meeker. Their eyes filled with shock, but within a moment, they rushed over and wrapped him in a tight hug.
Ethan!
You're alive!
What happened? Did they hurt you?
Why the hell are you a robot?
Well, you see...
Hey! We all missed you and really want to know what happened, but first things first, do you know how to get out of here?
Yes, actually. I've been locked up until I heard the jailbird.
That's great to hear, but I need you to get these two out of here. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Athena, Jacob, I need you guys to follow Ethan.
What about Adam?
I will find him. Now go.
Ethan ran away with Jacob and Ethan. The two proceeded through a pair of hospital curtains. Once they entered through, they seemed to become swarmed with hundreds of curtains.
Kayden, can you hear me?
What is going on?
Just keep going.
They pushed and pushed until they weirdly appeared back into a yellow hallway, this time in front of a door painted with flowers.
Do we go?
What is your gut telling you?
Let's do it.
The two proceeded to the white door and slowly pushed it open. Once inside, they saw a bed covered with stuffed animals. The walls were still yellow but covered with flowers. On this bed sat a little girl with neat black hair. She seemed so delicate.
Hello?
Good evening.
Who are you?
They call me Elizabeth.
The baby in the basement.
That is correct.
Kayden began to look around the room. He noticed a TV with a bunch of VHS tapes.
Have you lived down here your whole life?
You get to watch TV?
Yes, I have. My mommy and daddy died a long time ago. Mr. Schuyler, to answer your questions, those are the movies the doctor used to make. They haven't been back since the accident.
Olivia-Rose looked at Kayden. He picked up a tape and placed it into the VCR built into the television. What followed after the tape rewound was too graphic for us to mention here.
What the fuck did we just watch?
I need you to open the door.
We just walked through it.
Did you?
Kayden and Olivia suddenly appeared in the hall again, this time in front of what looked like a vault.
Get away from the door.
Dr. Schott stood in front of them with a needle.
I need you to open the door. It's the whole reason I brought you guys here. We're very similar. Use your abilities and I'll show you mine.
Olivia, we have to.
How do we even know we can trust this girl? She might kill us too.
Then we'll run as soon as the door opens. We just have to make it to the bus. You saw what I saw. She deserves her justice.
If this bites me in the ass. Let's do it.
The two stood up and faced the thick metal door. They concentrated, bringing the strength of their minds together. With a deep breath, they used their telekinesis to rip the door open. It buckled and crunched like a soda can, and was thrown down the long hall behind them.
No.
Dr. Schatz flattened himself against one wall to dodge the tumbling heap of metal, then looked towards the now open cell doorway with pure fear.
What did you do?
Out of the darkness and into the flickering yellow light stepped a small figure. A girl with long dark hair and a blue medical gown, so little and pale, she looked as if the faintest wind could blow her away. She looked up at the twins with big green eyes.
Thank you.
No.
Cowardly Schatz attempted to flee in the other direction. The girl's head suddenly snapped towards the direction of the jarring sound. Her eyes widened in recognition. Her gentle face then contorted to that of bitter rage.
You!
Get away from me.
Run!
The girl let out a supernatural scream, echoing through all of the tunnels. It violently shook the walls. Olivia and Kayden quickly ran down the hallway, ears nearly splitting from the sound. The little girl began to emit a strange black smoke from her body. It trailed behind her as she slowly walked towards Dr. Schatz.
What's the matter? You don't want to play with me, Mr. Donald? But I don't understand. I thought that's all you wanted to do. Play games. day after day after day. I think it's my turn to pick the game now.
She lifted her hand and up went Dr. Schatz. He hung helplessly in the air, eyes as big as saucers.
I want to play dolls, nurse.
She clenched her fists, which in turn began to constrict him. His face turned red. He started to choke. Her eyes glared out furiously from between the strands of hair hiding her face.
I felt everything you did to me. Now you're gonna feel everything I do to you!
She twisted her fists, ripping Dr. Schatz down the middle. Blood rained down in buckets. His two halves slammed onto the floor. This hallway turned pure red. She let out another scream, lifted herself up, and floated down the hallway toward her next target. As she trailed along, the black smoke burned away the walls and objects around her. Meanwhile, Lorraine and Agitha made plans to escape.
What the hell was that noise?
Dear God. No.
Phil?
She's free.
Who?
It's Elizabeth. I'm going to find you all, and we are gonna play!
Suddenly, through a couple of white doors came Olivia and Kayden. All the guards pulled out their guns.
Shut up!
Olivia telepathically pushed the guards, sending them all flying across the room.
Aren't you guys supposed to be escaping right now?
Not until you tell us what the hell is going on here.
Don't spare any details. You kind of don't have a choice.
My God, if it isn't the Skylar twins.
Who the hell are you?
Look. You got off the wrong hand. Sure, we can work something.
Shut the hell up or I'll feed you to the girl myself.
Start talking. She'll be here soon, and she's pissed.
You let her out? You idiot! Do you have any idea what you just did?
What's it to you, sir?
What do you want to know?
The Zodiac Project. What is it?
Wow. I split you up. A destructive pair, you two. However did you find each other?
I might have pulled some strings.
Oh, did you? Well, how sweet.
What?
I was given the chance to go to another home. I chose to come here because I knew you'd come soon.
How?
I had a friend on the inside and we worked some things out. Look, now's not the time. I brought you here to confront our past together.
We can talk about this later.
I don't actually know about the project. I was just a new member at the time. Allow me then. The Zodiac Project was started by myself and a fellow house leader. You see, I'm part of a very special group of people. We wanted to create a new subspecies, give evolution a nice push forward. We called you guys Variant Z. We picked every person based on a few things: genetic code, birthday, illness.
All right. So, if you'll just sign this paper here, and the twins are yours.
Alright, let's do this, guys. Gotta go home. Thank goodness, too. Mommy needs to take a tank bath. Exactly.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you had twins.
Oh, yes. And here they are. Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, my goodness, so beautiful. A girl and a boy. How perfect. What are their names?
Kayden Willow and Olivia Schuyler.
Wow, that's certainly a mouthful.
Well, it's better than my maiden name.
I'm sure it is. So, I must be honest with you. I overheard you talking to the nurse about their heart conditions.
Oh, yeah, it's genetic. Lost my mom that way.
Right. Not my business. However, I work for a company who's developing genetic cell regrowth, and we're actually looking for a pair of twins. All trials have been successful, and of course we compensate handsomely. Hell, we'll even pay your rent, whatever you need.
Oh, wow. That's a lot to think about. Well, they were kind of just born yesterday, so...
I understand your hesitation. I'm a mother too. If some strange old woman approached me and said she could solve all of my problems, I'd just tell her to get lost. But I think I'd give it some consideration. No need to give me an answer yet. Here's my card. Don't be a stranger. Needless to say, she called. About 3 weeks later, I believe, and said you were both having problems and her job wasn't calling her back. Poor thing, your mother. We began the tests immediately, healed your little hearts, and la-di-da, made you into this. You guys are the cream of the crop. Besides the Virgo trials, the Gemini trials were the most tedious. I wasn't kidding about you two being destructive.
Oh my god.
I know. My name is actually Kayden Willow.
Why didn't we go back to our mother after?
When our boss shut down the program, he ordered us to kill all of the subjects. Pardon my French, but quite a few of us thought that was bullshit. All of those years and lives spent for nothing? You want to halt the progress of humanity just because you got cold feet. Instead, we hid everyone. Unlike the sick bastards around me, I have morals.
Yeah, you believe that.
The screams of Elizabeth were right underneath the room. The ground began to shake.
Well, I suppose that's my cue. Ladies, gentlemen, sick bastards, it's been a pleasure.
Wait!
Lorraine bolted towards the secret stairway behind her. Agitha followed.
We can't let her leave.
The two proceeded to follow the women as Elizabeth erupted from the floor.
There you are.
The smoke followed her and began to dissolve everyone in the room. Meanwhile, Agitha and the other woman made it to ground level where a helicopter awaited above the destroyed courtyard. A rope ladder dropped. Lorraine approached the helicopter and climbed with Agitha behind her.
Perfect timing, mistress. We are needed back at HQ.
Fantastic. Oh, Agitha.
Yes?
Look, sweetie, my helicopter only seats 4.
Okay, great. Let's get going.
Well, to be frank, you're kind of cramping my style, and you've outlived your usefulness. Besides...
Wait!
It sounds to me that Carrie down there might like to have a word with you.
Lorraine smiled at Agitha and pushed her from the helicopter. Olivia and Kayden made it through the front doors and rushed over to the scene. She fell almost in slow motion. And then... she landed on the pavement.
This isn't over!
Don't worry, kids. We'll meet again soon. Be good now.
The helicopter flew away. Behind the twins, the administration building began to implode and crumble.
We need to make it to the bus.
Olivia, we can't just leave her here.
Sure we can.
I guess you're right.
The two sped off towards the forest. The destruction behind them was massive. Elizabeth rose from the rubble.
Now to find my daddy.
The girl floated across the courtyard into the road as the property collapsed into the ground. Agitha's final moments were spent literally watching her world collapse in on her. She closed her eyes.
What happened to you? No, don't. Just let me die.
We interrupt this program to bring you a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Morgan Morales.
I'm Gillian Dynamo.
We're at Moral School, and we're here to sponsor the newest in virtual reality technology. Monarch brings you the newest and most advanced headset called The Bridge.
With The Bridge, anything is possible.
Create worlds of your own imagination.
With the Monarch Bridge, you can explore places like the bottom of the ocean. Just look at this test run.
Yeah, like, oh my god, it's so dark. Wait, what is that? Scully, I don't like this. Make it stop!
Explore space.
NASA simulator is awesome!
Wait, NASA simulator? I thought we were playing the alien one. Oh my god, it's coming for me. Ah!
The bridge isn't just for gaming, it's many other things.
The bridge allows people with medical complications to experience things like never before.
The bridge functions on a little something called neuroplay.
It's a system that connects to your brainwaves in the most important sectors of the brain, giving you real sensation while protecting you in real life.
So check it out today.
The bridge from Monarch, because what's the worst thing that could happen?
We now return to our regularly scheduled program. Deep into the woods, Olivia and Kayden made their way to the bus. After about 10 minutes of running, the duo arrived at the parking lot, where 4 yellow dog buses were filled with patients. Ethan and Athena quickly ran to greet the two. Miss Taylor followed, a look of relief on her face.
Oh, thank God. I thought you guys were dead.
You kidding? That was a walk in the park. Oh, I'm so out of breath.
I'm really happy to see you're okay, Kayden.
You too, man.
Look, there's something I've been dying to tell you. I know we haven't met you very long, but I think you're cool, great, wonderful. I don't have too much of. Anyway, the only thing that kept me going down that basement was...
Hey, I know. Let's save it till we're safe.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so glad you two are safe. We have all the buses loaded.
Is everyone here?
I had 5 I couldn't account for.
Who?
Sal, Adam, Anthony, and Mike and Terry.
Oh no.
What?
Pine Point is gone.
Excuse me?
What does that mean?
So, we kind of released some demon child?
Oh, kind of. Demon child. We should get out of here.
Release all these people. This was definitely a bad idea.
What choice do we have?
In that case, let's get...
Athena was interrupted by a hand stabbing a blade into the side of her neck. Then the blade was dragged from one side to the other. When she dropped, the culprit was a too familiar face.
Where is she?
Adam, drop the knife.
Olivia crouched down to take Athena in her arms. The girl's eyes were glazing over, blood dripped from her mouth. Olivia started to shake.
You killed her. You killed Athena!
Give me back my daughter!
We don't fucking have her!
I'll kill all of you! Give her to me!
She's not here. She's back at Pine Point.
Liar! You took her from me!
The world seemed to slow down for a moment. Kayden slipped into the mindscape with Olivia-Rose.
Olivia? What is this?
When people die, they're greeted by their most cherished memories. This is Athena's. All the times we spent just hanging out at the lunch table.
She's a great kid.
Yeah, she is.
Oh my gosh!
You're having a giggle, matey.
She's gone.
Yes.
Olivia, stay with me.
You should have done something. She didn't deserve this. She was a sister to me.
No. This isn't your fault. It happened too fast to do anything. Right now, though, we need to finish this. For her.
For her.
What do we do about Adam?
He's not listening to reason.
Can we calm him down from the inside?
We might be able to.
Kayden and Olivia-Rose separated from their bodies. They pointed their hands toward Adam and began emitting a blue sonar. Adam's body became like an X-ray image. Kayden and Olivia could see his internal systems and skeleton. Adam separated from his body as well. His astral form collapsed to the ground. He fell into darkness. Then he awoke. He stood in a pool of water where he was surrounded by yellow tile walls miles away. Out of the water emerged Kayden and Olivia-Rose. A blue Gemini symbol shined on their foreheads.
Adam? Are you there?
I think so. Please, don't hurt me anymore.
Adam. I love you. Remember?
Olivia extended her arm out to the horizon where a doorway appeared. The two walked through a small door with flowers etched into the window. They entered into a living room. There was a little boy sitting in front of the TV watching a football game. In the kitchen was a ruckus.
Where are we?
This is where I grew up.
Who's in the kitchen?
My parents.
The three walked through a curtain which led to the kitchen. Once they entered, they were suddenly in an emergency room, where a woman laid in critical condition. This woman then looked like Olivia-Rose.
Mother? She died when I was 16. The police did nothing to the bastard who did this.
Doctor, she's flatlining.
Adam turned to go through the curtain again. He suddenly appeared on a football field where he was running and leading his team. Olivia-Rose and Kayden stood disguised as a cheerleader and another football player.
You know, I always wanted to make football a high school career. I could get lost in the cheerleading and forget what I had to go home to.
I always did the same.
Adam.
Yes, Kayden?
What happened next?
Adam jumped over another player and hit the ground. As he rolled, he stood up and appeared in a dim-lit kitchen. His dad sat at the kitchen table. This man turned to Kayden.
Your mom's dead.
What happened?
The whore probably got what she deserved.
Adam swung on the man, but before he could land a punch, his dad hit him first. He fell back into a hospital bed. A nurse entered the room with a social worker. She looked like Olivia.
Hi, I need to ask you a few questions about what happened.
Your dad put you in the hospital?
Yeah.
Where did you go after that?
I went back home one last time. My dad sat in that dumb rocking chair.
Thank God you're back. Go grab me another fucking beer.
I wrapped an extension cord around his neck. I just wanted to hurt him a little, until all of it kicked in. I couldn't let go. And then he was gone. I proceeded to my room where I wrapped a noose around my throat.
Adam placed the noose around his neck. He closed his eyes to pray. When they opened, he was on a bus to Pine Point. He looked across from him where Olivia and Kayden sat.
I should have died.
I take it your trauma didn't stop once you got where you were going.
Hey! Shut the hell up and get off the bus.
Adam stood up. Then he stood in the shower. He was punched in the gut, where he collapsed and was beaten by 6 guys.
It wasn't a place for me to get better. This was a prison. I realized then, we live in a world of light and dark, like the moon. I was trapped in the dark side.
2 nurses rushed in and picked him up, then threw him in a chair in a dark room. Behind him stood Dr. Schatz. He was injecting something behind his ear.
Now, you'll feel a little pinch, then you won't feel a thing.
All right. Camera's rolling?
I remember the first time he gave me that shot. I couldn't move or feel, but I felt everything.
The 2 nurses returned and grabbed Adam from the chair where they threw him to the ground. He laid in a fetal position, surrounded by total darkness.
I was gone. That was until I met her.
Hi. I think you dropped this.
A woman with black hair stood over Adam, holding out a spoon. When he turned around to look at her, they appeared in a lunch line.
Thank you.
I'm Violet.
That was the first time I was ever truly happy. Everything stopped. I was healing. I was going to be a father, and she was gone.
He gave the woman a kiss, then she suddenly faded away, and he was surrounded by darkness again.
It got bad again, though. Worse, actually. They began to shock me.
Waves of electricity began to fill the room.
They used to tell me they liked it when I sweat. That's why they would electrocute me. This continued until they could finally control me by command. Anything they wanted. Anytime. Then I saw you.
My name is Olivia-Rose.
I'm Adam. You handed me a spoon also. It felt perfect. Our immunity came from the doctors. It was my reward for being their pet. So as long as I told them anything important, then you arrived, Kayden.
You knew here? What gave that
It's him. He's here.
Your brother?
Yes, we're saved.
He was being sarcastic.
Then I saved you, Kayden. Now we're here.
The three appeared back outside the door. Adam faced the window.
Adam, we can go home now.
Everything's going to be okay.
Wait, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
Wait, Adam!
Get out! Get out, please!
A wave of fire spread across the landscape, knocking everyone back into their own bodies. It had appeared only seconds had passed towards the ordeal. As they awoke, they could hear Elizabeth scream again. She was moving toward them.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Miss Taylor, get the buses out of here. We'll deal with this.
No! I'm not leaving you two!
Go! You have to make sure they make it out of here.
Okay. But you should lead her to the town down the hill.
What town?
From the story of the witch. Go!
Taylor quickly coordinated with the other buses. All right, everyone. Listen up. I'm going to lead the charge down the hill. Whatever you do, don't stop driving. If something happens to me, get another person in the seat and keep going.
We have a problem.
What?
Bus 4 doesn't have a driver. It was supposed to be Adam.
I'll do it. Sal? I figured since the place was just destroyed that I'd have nothing to do all day.
All right then. Let's hit it. The bus drivers coordinated to each of their buses. Next stop, Freedom! The buses sped away past Kayden and Olivia. The trees in Elizabeth's path were dissolving. She was getting closer. The two focused on Adam. He seemed to be talking to someone.
Yes, it's just the five of us. Oh, what a happy family.
So, besides the witch girl heading this way, I really think we should get out of here.
Adam slowly stood up and pulled a knife from behind his back.
It'll be over soon, you guys. Now, come here.
Run!
Meanwhile, back at the rubble of Pine Point, as the smoke settled into new gravel, a mechanical hand emerged. Through the seams, a bloody liquid leaked. It was some sort of robotic Agitha chimera. Another creature emerged, very similar, but with a massive needle.
Stop the woman, and we'll stop the buses.
On it.
Down the hill, the buses sped. Miss Taylor communicated with the other buses. All right, is everyone okay?
We're clear on my end.
Me too.
Awesome. Now just to... Suddenly, something slammed on the windshield. It was the chimera Agitha. She reached her hand through the glass and yanked her out of the seat. This caused the bus to swerve and flip, landing in a ditch and quickly catching fire. Dr. Schatz appeared.
I knew I should have killed you. Where are the patients?
And where are the twins?
He revved his needle like a drill, bringing it closer to Taylor's head. Don't you worry about those kids. They're long gone. The buses sped past.
Stop them.
Dr. Shots began to speed toward the buses.
Look at me, Taylor. This is the real world, where the bad guys win and pitiful little people like you pay when they don't stay out of the fucking way. You can't stop progress. You never could. Now to do something I should have done a while ago.
A scorpion-like tail emerged from her bloody back. She pointed the spike at Taylor's face. Suddenly, she was blinded by a bright beam.
Stand down!
Agitha Kuntz, on behalf of the Supernatural Containment Providence, I, Agent Peala, am putting you under detainment.
That's not how you say my last name.
Oh my god, shut up! Stop making this harder than it needs to be!
You think you can take me on alone?
Out of the woods stepped over 50 agents with weapons.
This isn't over.
Well, now it is.
Agent Maxwell, are you alright?
I've been through worse. Did you get the other one? An explosion went off in the distance.
Wait, where are the twins?
This way. Hurry! Meanwhile, the twins ran to a town. They ran past a sign that read, "Welcome to Heaven Peak." They ran down the main street, full of empty, dusty cars. They looked around at the buildings, crumbling with age.
These people really did vanish.
Adam ran steadily behind them.
I'm kinda jealous of them.
We're on the coast. Where do we go? A dock?
Kayden fixated his eyes on a massive church at the end of town.
There! I'm sure a witch can't go into a church, right?
I'm sure that's wrong, but I have no ideas, so let's do it.
The two made their way to the end of the town. A sand-colored church stood before them, tall and looming. The bell tower looked over the ocean. The two walked into the abandoned building. This church was rather strange. In the middle of its sanctuary was a stone circle with 8 huge slabs. Each bore a strange symbol.
That's Salgonium.
What?
I studied it while I was in a group home. These symbols all mean something. Jester, Seed Witch, Bear Man, Splicer, No Face. Why are these
There you are!
Adam busted into the sanctuary.
Shit! What do we do now?
Bell tower!
Olivia used her telepathy to shove all the pews at Adam. They quickly ran behind a baptistry where a ladder led up 8 floors. Meanwhile, Elizabeth began her trip through the town. As she passed, each building faded away, leaving nothing. A tall spire of the bell tower caught her eye. Back with the twins, they continued climbing until they reached the door at the top.
All right, now what?
Olivia looked over the edge where she could see the sun rising.
Olivia?
Adam's hands reached the surface. He slowly pulled himself up.
Now we have nowhere to run. We can all be together.
Adam? Please don't do this.
I have to. I love you guys too much to leave you in this world.
Cornered, the two backed into the railing.
This will all be over quick.
Kayden, I'm sorry for everything.
I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Daddy?
Adam froze, then slowly turned around. There stood Elizabeth behind him. She looked tiny in comparison to his looming presence. She began to smile. It was like sunshine.
Is that you, baby?
Daddy!
She ran and embraced her dad. He hugged her back. His shoulders started to quake.
Did they hurt you?
No, I hurt them. But it's okay. They're all gone now. Did they hurt you?
A little, but I'm okay now.
Olivia-Rose had grabbed the knife and planted it in Adam's back. He stood up in surprise.
I thought you loved me.
Adam stepped back slowly, busted his head on the bell, and down he went to his death. Olivia dropped the knife and fell back to the wall out of breath. Elizabeth peered down at his body, then turned to look at the twins.
Thank you.
You're not mad?
Bad things happened to him and he suffered. He also hurt a lot of people that he shouldn't have. We must all pay for our sins. Even you and I. I must get going now.
Wait, where are you going?
I have more to tend to. This is just the beginning.
What does that mean?
The girl vanished into a cloud of dark smoke. The two looked at each other, neither having any answers. So instead, they looked out onto the ocean at the sunrise. They sat there, covered in sweat, blood, and dirt. A cool breeze blew through their hair and felt as if it carried their worry away. Olivia rested her head on Kayden's shoulder, and as they watched the waves, small smiles came to their faces. Everything was just okay.
Update. Life is pretty great. It's been about a year since the Pine Point phenomenon, as they call it. We made it to Santa Monica like I promised Olivia-Rose. Mrs. Taylor also joined us, along with most of our friends from the asylum. The government pardoned us of our crimes due to reckless behavior of the facility. We kinda became a big deal. Ethan and I are a couple, which is cool. I mean, great. I mean, wonderful. Anyway, Sal went off to mechanics school like he dreamed of.
Alright, now tighten this here.
Like this?
Jacob disappeared into thin air, one day off on his own journey. I get postcards every now and then from places like Malaysia.
How much further?
Only 80 miles.
Olivia struggles with missing Athena. We all do, really. But I think we keep her grounded. We are actively looking for other test subjects. The other 11.
Alright, well if you guys can deduct the birthdays from their file information, we should be able to cross-reference somehow.
We are also looking for the woman.
Status report of the variant Z subjects.
Not a damn thing.
We have secret ads posted for these people to find us.
We have a new message.
Who's it from?
Bethany Banks?
The actress?
Every day is a new journey for us. We haven't found her mom or this secret order, but we'll never give up. Those of you, if you are listening and are like us, then you know, we're ready for you. We can't wait to meet you. This mission just came out of nowhere?
Is it malfunctioning?
No, it's decoding.
Do you think it's an enemy?
I hope not.
You got a message.
From a Trina Alvarez.
My friends and I need your help.
No way. Wait, this file is new.
What's a code Virgo?